Winner bracket final, qualifier number 4, and we have a game that we've seen already a couple of times. Saboteurs against the Raiders. So far, all of the games that these guys played throughout all the qualifiers have been highlights, and it was always a back and forth, which I really like. So I'm absolutely here for this. Towers of Doom is our first map, and again a quick reminder that we are in qualifier number 4 now, which means that we have 15 heroes all listed down here that are pre-banned. So from qualifier to qualifier, we are adding more pre-bans to the mix. How many and which ones always hinges on sub goals that we have on the Twitch channel, as already explained. But from qualifier number 3, where we had 12 heroes pre-banned, to qualifier number 4 now, we added 3 more heroes that cannot be taken in this tournament at all, and that would be Johanna, Junkrat, and Sylvanas. Now, in addition to that, we also have a rule that every hero can only be played once within a series, and obviously, as you might get very quickly, we are having the pool of heroes getting reduced from map to map to map, and it really forces the teams to think outside of the box a little bit. Now, it's not going completely crazy right now. We already had some pretty spicy picks, but generally speaking, teams can still find a couple of options of what they can do here. But you can already see that there's now compositions being played that you would normally not see in a traditional tournament, which is, of course, what this is all about. This is the entire concept of Meta Madness. In the past, what we've done is that in the qualifiers, there were no pre-bans, and they only came in at the playoffs. This time we're going for a bit of a more progressive approach, and it is kind of fun to see how things develop from one qualifier to another. Now, with qualifier number 4, teams are still trying to lock in points for the leaderboard so that they can make it into the playoffs and qualify. The playoffs themselves, we have $2,000 of prize money. Prize money fully put up by myself this time, so I'm completely financing the tournament here since we don't have a big name sponsor or anything. Bit of a early Christmas present for the Heroes of the Storm esports community. And so far we had a lot of amazing games, and I mean, I am looking forward to the grand final. Already jumping ahead a little bit here, the winner bracket final. Still a best of 3 series, and yeah, which team makes it to the grand final, which team drops down into the losers bracket and has to go for a loser bracket run. I am kind of inclined to still call the Saboteurs the favorites here, but then again, it's not like they won every single match they played against the Raiders, and the Raiders have stepped it up massively. I have to say, though, that I don't like the ban pattern that we're seeing from the Saboteurs at all. I mean, I don't appreciate this. I want to see Cho'Gall. I want to see Samuro, and we're getting none of it. But Gavlo now subbing in for the Raiders, and he immediately picks my heaven on the other side. We're getting the Vikings. I'm okay with this. I'm absolutely okay with this. I like it. Yep. We have Garrosh and the Vikings against Maiev early on Towers of Doom. So, yes, let's go. As a starting map with some Viking support, it's glorious. Dehaka, top lane control, can also help with the Vikings at least a little bit, and then we have Muradin, so a stun and CC chain ranging from Stormbolt to a Dehaka Tong Connect to Maiev with her tether, so already a whole lot happening here. But yeah, very excited for this now. Also what the bans are gonna be. Very likely they're gonna target Nano, I'd say. Yep, and they do. They ban out Chromie. I think that was a given. And he is alright with it. If not, they would have picked Chromie a bit earlier. It was very predictable that Chromie would be banned out if you're going for this many CC heroes right away. And instead of Muradin, you could have picked someone else. It's, by the way, also a really interesting touch that Garrosh was now taken, because Johann has a couple of tanks that he really... it's like his comfort zone. Johanna's one of them. She's not available anymore. Garrosh is another one. He's taken away. So Benny takes Garrosh early, which also denies it to Johann. So in this particular tournament concept, you can really start targeting players on the other side by just limiting their hero pool even more, and you don't have to just ban heroes, you can just pick them away, and then they're not available in the series any longer. Keep in mind that when we're going into the playoffs, we pretty much have exclusively best of 5s. There's pretty much no best of 3s anymore. So this is the warm-up. With all of the qualifiers and all of the games that you've already seen here, this is the warm-up that we're talking about. Stukov, Liming, and for the red team, the final 2 picks for map number 1 here in Towers of Doom. What's the weapon of choice? Nano. Of course, we need support as well. You could go Rhaegar over here if you wanted to. If you need more control, there's always the old man. Well, Furion is up, technically. And, well, they go for Gul'dan and Uther. Alright, we get that Divine Shield as it seems. Yeah, Nano again with a mage going for Gul'dan here. And we're jumping in with the final pick. Rutsu, again, Maiev taken away. Rutsu is another one that excels on that hero just completely. So picking Maiev now for the Raiders means also that Rutsu doesn't get that pick later on in the series. I like that a lot because Rutsu has been destroying teams left and right with Maiev. I like that they denied that immediately. He picks Deathwing. With that we're set. Let's go. House of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Winner bracket final in qualifier number 4 for Meta Madness. Saboteurs against the Raiders. Saboteurs against Raiders with Hazuops on the left for the blue team. On the Vikings, Bad Benny on Garrosh. We get Dainu on Liming, Yasuo and Stukov, and Rutsu with the Vikings. Deathwing. That would be a double Vikings in the game. They're everywhere, oh no! Okay, so the Raiders going up against this with Johan on Muradin. We got Sven on Dehaka, Nan on Gul'dan, Gavlo on Maiev, and Huntorg is playing Uther. Got the Fell Flame build for Gul'dan. And yeah, it's time to party. Who pulls ahead in the series? Who takes the lead? Is it the Saboteurs or will the Raiders shut them down once again? Yeah, they sent them into the losers bracket already a few times, but of course the Saboteurs still the team that dominated all of these qualifiers like no other. Now, I have to say that it's not always as clean cut as them coming in and just obliterating everybody, but they had one qualifier in particular where I believe they didn't even lose a single map. So this is still the team to beat at the end of the day. No matter how good the Raiders now are these days, they are still off against a very tough opponent that they've beaten before, granted. But yeah, Benny, talking about beaten, Benny was nearly beaten there. Nearly killed. If Gul'dan would have just arrived a moment earlier, that would have been the end of Benny right away. So, no kills just yet. Everybody just looking for opportunities here. Liming, of course, also looking for resets. Majestic Dragon. Rutsu coming in, and I love it. Fantastic skin and tint for Deathwing. That's exactly how he's supposed to look. Not that turkey skin. Nobody needs that shit. Even with Thanksgiving last weekend. Well, this weekend. But yeah, nobody needs a turkey this big. So yes, good job. Rutsu can absolutely appreciate that. Deathwing. But either way, up at the top. That's actually a lot of damage done at the top. Normally you don't see a split like this. Even saving Balog. But look how quickly this entire wall got destroyed here. So it's pretty much the teams deciding that they're going to push for different lanes. Bot lane, normally the more important one. Just generally speaking. It's a lane where you're trying to get quick control because there's so many pumpkins that travel through the lane that you can technically take down the opponent's core just with pumpkins alone. Or at least do some damage. And in the meantime, we get a quick flip over here. Yeah, Balog went down, but nobody else. They're trying for us. Yes, they're trying for Uther, and they get him. So, first kill, first blood for the Saboteurs. And yeah, they can maybe even get more. Benny's a bit low, but they're getting full connect on Maiev. Bit of a drain happening, but it doesn't change the fact that Benny can easily sustain through it. And now they are, at least in the early stages, in the driver's seat. Vikings obviously add a lot of map control when you have them, particularly when the altars are up. You can do a lot of stuff there. Just simply interrupting a channel, going for it yourself. Whatever you want to do, you have options as long as the Vikings survive. And this is also where the baseline quest comes into play. And your sustain that you can add 11 stacks currently for Hazuops. Sven is going to interrupt this, but talking about interrupts, they're happening here too. And as long as you're keeping two heroes busy at the top, it means that you have a numbers advantage down at the bottom of the map. And that's what they're currently trying to play for. Or at least so I thought. But it seems like they're going to let that slide for a bit longer. And Liming is now saying hello to Sven. And is starting to go for the next channel. So they're maybe even willing to give up the bot lane altar and instead take the two at the top, because that's the goal, obviously. The blue team wants 2 out of the 3 at least. Since they have Vikings, they should be able to pull that off as well, unless they're losing multiple of the heroes. But Sven gets the channel, and now everybody is starting to focus onto the bottom of the map. And Benny gets attacked. Has to use Indomitable. The Stormbolt connects but doesn't stun. They still get some hits in here. And Deathwing is making this even more annoying. This is the beauty when you're playing Deathwing. Not only do they have interrupt potential with Vikings, but they also then have Deathwing himself. And he can do the same thing here, just time and time again. Give him the axe on level 7 for Muradin. So trying to get some extra damage in. Calamity for Li Ming. And yep, still 1 kill to 0. But they're fighting for this last altar. I mean, tooth and nail. Everybody is hoping to come in here for it. The longer they can delay this, though, the better for the Vikings. Balog is obviously at the top and can therefore use all the wave clear that he brings in to just push that out. They are not gonna get this down at the bottom of the map unless they get kills. And well, they're working on it. But I don't think they can. Maybe Benny? There's the heal. Oh, but they connect more CC and Benny dies. And they couldn't get the counter kill yet. It's all about buying time right now. If they can make sure that nobody channels that bottom altar, then the Vikings are gonna get a lot of value at the top. If they can get kills, even better. But let's not forget, nice Calamity kill, reset, and a double. And of course, as mentioned before, at the top, they've already taken out the entire wall previously, so this leaves only the bell tower itself, and that one is taking a decent amount of damage considering how early in the game we are. We're at the 5-minute mark. Muradin got sniped! Oh, Slingshot Boy takes him down. Eric comes in and straight between the eyes, baby. So the shots are fired, 32 to 36 points on the core. And of course, now we have the lead in experience for the blue team too. Still with all that Viking control, good damage, 4 kills to 1. And that really helps them with the early level 10 talents. And of course, they're opening up a couple more walls here. So yeah, looking pretty good for them. Pretty decent. Now, unfortunately, just as a side note, in case that you haven't caught up on this yet, it seems like there's something a bit broken with Towers of Doom and the stacking quest over here. I'm not quite sure what exactly triggers it, but we already observed it once when Sven was playing the Vikings and he was just continuously stuck at 2 globes. Obviously, Hazo is still picking them up. So, yeah, maybe a bug that we have to keep a bit of an eye on. Hopefully it can be fixed with the UI. Small one, and I've only seen it so far with the Vikings, and some of the games it counts properly. I've seen it twice now in Towers of Doom, so maybe it's a bit of a map problem. Whatever the cause is, just as a side note, it's going to be stuck on 11, so he's going to pick up more and of course get that self-sustain. But yeah, don't get too hung up on that particular number. 4 kills to 2, Benny completely locked into a corner and he gets killed, but they're not out of this yet. Everybody is super low. Uther was about to fall, now here comes Deathwing. They're trying for Muradin, who survives. This is actually kind of crazy. And there's the kill. Uther down, and it's time for Li Ming to get research. And she gets quite a lot. Horrify, not killing anyone, but Deathwing gets murdered by Muradin. So, yep, while they're fighting, the Vikings are in position for the channel, and that forces them to move towards the top, and they're already on their way. Now Li Ming has to deal with those pumpkins. Vikings very likely only get 1 channel. Don't think Maiev is going to be there in time. Doesn't even try. Wouldn't have reached it. But yeah, 4 shots are fired, and Hazu is interrupting. Again, his job, amongst others on this map, is to piss the opponent off, and he's doing this currently in stellar fashion. So comes in, takes him down one after another with an interrupt. Now Deathwing is doing the same thing, and it's just a massive pain. Can play around this a little bit further, and eventually this is of course going to be taken. Jesus! It's going to take them an eternity to get any channel through here. So, yep. Nicely done. There's another interrupt. I would be so pissed if I'm them. But that, of course, gives a lot of time to the blue team. That's 2 heroes that are engaged at the top, and that can't be used anywhere else on the map. So eventually they claim it, but yes, that's a lot of time that has to be invested there, and that's time that can be used by the opponent elsewhere on the map with ease, which is exactly what they're doing right now. At the top, Hazu still pushing this out, level 13 for both teams. We now got also Jump. And, yep, we get the Illusionist. Vikings are still being chased as the next fight is breaking out at the bottom of the map. Gotta give it to the Raiders. They're always looking for a battle. They're always looking for a fight. Damage numbers. Deathwing is currently top damage on his team with 23,000, followed by Li Ming, who's sitting at a solid 20k. Over on the other side, Nano with Gul'dan. He's the one to bring in numbers. 28,000. Nobody else even coming close. Of course, as we are heading towards level 16, noteworthy that the stun for Olaf is going to change a lot. Once that the Vikings are able to really participate in these fights and get decent value, it's going to be big. And they will try that against backliners, they will try that against damage dealers, just coming, lock them down. And Muradin is also going to be affected by this. I mean, he went Haymaker here, not Avatar, so that's something that allows them for... It allows for additional Playmaker potential, but it also means that you are a lot more vulnerable and can be killed a lot easier than that. We have Muradin with a really interesting build anyways. I mean, if you have already taken a look at it, he went into Thunderstrike now. So he actually went Thunderstrike against the Vikings. That's wild. There's no Bronzebeard Rage here, there's no healing static, there's no added sustain. So he went pretty much all damage on this. And he will get a couple of opportunities to get good damage out against the Vikings in particular, of course. But I am not sure how much he can do just in general with that build once we're talking about solo team fights the entire time. So yeah, he goes deep and tries to take Hazo on and is able to get the kill, but he's also taking a whole lot of damage there. So he jumps out eventually, but even with the trade kicking in, he is going to be a bit low going into the fight. So has to be super careful here. Down at the bottom, yeah, nice tether after Divine Shield saved my head. And Sven gets interrupted. Hazo is just everywhere with this, and he's also at the top pushing for more bell tower control. Yeah. Minions are coming in. Balog himself is now also starting to attack, as you can see on the minimap. In experience, they're still more or less dead even. But the shots are fired. That's 4 more against the red team. 24 to 32. And the Vikings with good damage at the top. And Muradin gets caught and killed. They're not getting Sven, but they get level 16. So that means Olaf has Largen in charge. We have Mirror Ball. And there is just tons of good things happening now for the Saboteurs. They got the Seasoned Soldier after the Blood Craze and the earlier Oppressor. On top of that, we're now getting a Super Strain, we can Conflagration, and the Wicked Inferno for Deathwing. And at least 16 on both sides with Benediction. I mean, I still gotta admit that the experience is looking extremely good for the Raiders. Honestly, where they picked most of their experience up is in hero experience here. So this is where they have taken a lead, but yeah, obviously trailing behind a bit. Pumpkins now at the bottom of the map. Yeah, the Haka also coming in for another quick move. Gotta be real careful how they're engaging into these fights, as these sea chains that can now be established by the blue team are becoming more and more dangerous with the Vikings in play. Yeah, Hazo at the top. Careful, he's losing Eric, and I guess he's going to lose Balog too. Down at the bottom of the map, though, they're going again for Muradin and Johan! Yeah, he gets out, but by the skin of his teeth. Benny, yeah, he's dead. Nicely done by the Raiders. I thought Muradin would fall here, but he didn't. So Muradin survives, and they get a kill on Garrosh. That's great. That's actually huge. So, well done. Just as the double altar phase is now popping up. But yeah, kudos to the Raiders. That was not easy to pull that one off. And they were able to make it happen. Now the interrupts continue. Hazo has to move out here. Doesn't lose Eric, doesn't even lose hit points. And Hunter Orc at the bottom of the map might finally get that channel. But there is still Deathwing in the skies doing his thing. And while all of this happens, Hazo at the top wants to take that bell tower out. So yes, the interrupts are coming. Hazo is also on his way, could interrupt again, and in the middle with Eric falling, they're still going to interrupt, of course, Muradin where they can. But the first altar channel has happened. Now they're going for the second. So the Raiders bring it back. It is 28 to 24 points on the core, and the Raiders are definitely bringing this back. Oh, damn! Beautiful kill. Well done. Does he get the interrupt? He does. And now they go for Muradin. They were hoping to get even more here. There's the stun. And Stukov stiff-arming Muradin. Trying to get a kill. Short Haymaker after that. And yes, it's party time. All the Vikings are gone. So Haza has been eliminated here. But it's absolutely insane. Back and forth. 8 kills to 8. And the channel is happening. Yeah, and they let it pass. 4 more shots fired. Core down to 20 points. It's getting really cool because we are heading into level 20 now. And because of all of the delays, the game is delayed a little bit. So now a lot of this will play out after level 20 gets taken by the teams. I mean, the next one should be the triple altar phase, if I am not mistaken. So we might see that happening with the first teams about to lock in level 20 talents. Vikings are still pressuring. Top bell tower is taking a lot of damage. But then again, you look down to the bottom of the map. And of course, this one is also very low. Even in the middle of the map, this one has taken a ton of damage. But they're trying for another fight. They're trying for Muradin. And I have to hand it to Johan. He's doing great considering that he didn't even go into Avatar. Yeah, well, and as I say, he obviously gets killed. Caster Curse strikes again. And now, boy, that is a problem. Uther is down, and even with all the damage that we're getting from Nano here, that hurts. That is 58,000 damage now for Gul'dan. So Nano really killing it, but they lost Uther and they lost Muradin. And that's bad news, because that essentially means you just lost map control. The question is, what can they do with that map control? Because, I mean, they might be able to channel some of the altars early because Muradin and Muradin and Uther will just be back. But I was more so thinking, if you get a follow-up kill, that would be, of course, the absolute dream. The bigger question is, can you get a bell tower? Yeah, stiff arming it. There's the Horrify. Yeah, Maiev dying. That's a disaster. Maiev is dead. And now they go for Nano. That's a double kill. That's an absolute disaster. That is horrific for them. The channels are happening and they take the bell tower. Bell towers are taken. Hazu can start the channel. This is at least 10 points removed. At least 10. They might be able to get more here. They can technically nearly end the game. Not quite, but they can get very close if they get all 3 channels and then the boss. Bam! 10 points on the core. There's another 9 points available right now. The worst thing that could happen to the Raiders now is another stagger death. They have to let this one go. They have to let this go. They don't have the interrupt. They need to make sure that they're surviving here. So this is single digits on the core now for the Raiders. They're going to be down to 5. And the boss is up and would put another 4 points in. Or they can just go for more bell tower conversion. That's, of course, another option that they have. Level 20 on both sides. No way. No, Dehaka. Sven dies. Another stagger death just as Gul'dan is back on the map. They lose Dehaka. That's 60 seconds, but they're going to be down 1 of their heroes. That's disastrous now. Absolutely disastrous. Red team was always assuming that they're going for the boss. They didn't. Now they're chasing them again. Nano is nearly trapped. Divine Shield had to be thrown out by Uther or he would have died. They know that too. There's a big cooldown that gets burned. And yeah, this is bad. This is really bad for them. The next altar is also at the bottom of the map. That's worse. How are you gonna get there once this thing is up? You have to really go through the top and then you don't have an escape path anymore. And what the Saboteurs are trying to do here is just get a few more kills. If they can get a few more kills in here and stagger more deaths, it's going to be the absolute dream and it would be a GG moment. They go for Muradin and they kill him. Dehaka is back in 2 seconds and now Muradin is back for another 60. And here's the altar. That is nearly game. Wow. Yeah, that is rough. That's really rough. Good luck trying to save that. You can't take a bell tower. There's nothing else to do. This is disastrous. 10 seconds. Again, they have to fight this without Muradin. Without their tank. It's a 5 versus 4 with Vikings. Jesus. Yeah, that's game. I'm sorry. That's just game. There's no way. Gaflo goes down. Now they're just cleaning house. And that's the lead in the winner bracket final for the Saboteurs. I mean, 100%. The Vikings are already challenging. At the top, Balog is converting another bell tower over. Yes, Liming gets killed, but this is obviously the lead in this best of 3. Nicely done. Well-deserved victory for the Saboteurs. The Raiders did well, but the Saboteurs, they still lock in the W.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Second game in the best of 3. Garden of Terror is the map. Another big one. And we have a lead for the Saboteurs. So, Raiders need to win 2 in a row if they want to go to the grand final. If not, then they are this time the ones that drop down into the lower bracket and have to make their losers bracket run. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what game plan there's right now. Honestly, I think that a lot of the things that I would like to see are going to get destroyed by the bans that we're seeing from the Saboteurs. I would be personally shocked if, for example, Samuro makes it into the draft or past the first ban phase, because one thing that we've seen now multiple times from the Saboteurs is they're trying to target Sven a little bit with some of their bans and getting rid of maybe even Cho'Gall, but particularly Samuro is something that I would assume they're just gonna get rid of. Falstad? Yeah, and obviously there it is. Samuro gets banned right away. Sad times. I mean, they gotta bust out Murky Phoenix now. Get that Octograb and Planet Cracker into the series, you know? Come in and just crush them with that. There's no other choice. It's all that you can do. Don't forget that the 10 heroes that were played before can't be played again, right? So that rule still exists. So now, in addition to the 15 bans, we now have another 10, so 25 heroes cannot be taken anymore. And Nuburak gets murdered again. I think Stukov is still up, right? No, well, actually, is Stukov still up? Stukov was played, right? No, it was Uther. Holy hell, I'm getting old. Uther played against what was the support? I think that game happened like 5 minutes ago, and I don't even remember which support was played by the Saboteurs. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, I think it wasn't Stukov. So yeah. No, they played Stukov. Of course they played Stukov. Like, I commented on one of that stiff arming. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, my bad. Yeah, there's the Cho'Gall ban again. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I kind of came to the conclusion of this because, like, with Stukov and Malfurion, or at least one of them still up, you can go for a Nuburak dive into a stun, which is one of the reasons that he's now being banned out. You can still play Varian with it, and we all know that Benny plays a ton of Varian. So, yes. At the end of the day, if they wanted to go for something like a sniper comp, they could still do that, could play that out with Varian, as we see here, and then potentially follow that up with Malfurion. So now that Chromie gets locked in, you have to immediately ask yourself, how do you want to follow that up? Do you want to go for, I mean, maybe they got Kayn. Do you go for different stun? Do you just go for Malfurion? And the Raiders, they have to ask themselves, hey, what do you ban out here? Do we actually get rid of one of those supports and are trying to break the chain a bit? Or what's going to be the game plan? Now, they themselves would have loved to play Chromie. I can guarantee you that. If there was a chance for Nano to pick it up now, he would have done it. But instead, we get the Witch Doctor. Nazibro. Okay, so let's go. Late game. Are we going to make it to level 20 and proper vial infection stacks? Or how is Nano going to play that? I love that we're getting a bit of a Nazebo. I'm actually shocked that we didn't get more Nazebo in the qualifiers already. I thought he would appear way more often. I think if Battlefield of Eternity wouldn't have been the starting map this many times, there was a good chance that Nazebo gets played here. With the Spider build, he can be an alternative. Now, obviously, only if a lot of heroes are already pre-banned, not available anymore. I mean, duh. But still, in that context, we could have seen Nazebo a bit more often. But most of the time these days, when Battlefield of Eternity was played, it was the starting map, and there's just too many options still available. So, Greymane gets banned, Medivh gets banned. So with Greymane banned, they're just eliminating another damage source on a single target, which still allows the CC chain to be established by the Saboteurs, and they can start doing that now with their support. And they get Malfurion, traditional pick, and they have Leoric. So even more slows, more control, get Entomb, and then follow up with Chromie. And there is an additional damage slot with Rutsu. But now that Nazebo got locked in and we have Sven on Rexa, the question is still what the main tank is going to be for Johan. Are we going to get an Imperious main tank, for example? I mean, there's still options. And also, what is Gavler going to play? They need another damage source, especially to get them through the mid game here. Alright, the big Mal'Ganis. I keep forgetting about Mal'Ganis. This is kind of crazy. And we get Chen. Pandemonium. Alright, Chen I like. A lot of space created. Triple front light right now. Gardener Zebo. Buy him time. And the final pick for Rutsu as they're trying to destroy that plan. They need more damage for whenever Varian comes in with his taunt. There's of course a couple of mages around, but if you are locking a mage now in, then you are playing essentially double mage, aka you are very dependent on your cooldowns. Doable, but oftentimes a bit tricky. So yeah, there goes Zagara. Big map, a big push, and big siege damage. Zagara, ladies and gentlemen, final pick for map number 2. Let's go straight in. Garden of Terror. Saboteurs in the lead. They have a match point on Garden of Terror and a chance to take down the Raiders. Hazu Ops is playing on Leoric. On the left, we got Dino on Chromie, Bad Benny on Varian, Yazu on Malfurion, and Rutsu is playing Zagara. On the right side of the map, the Raiders with a Nano on Zebra. And we got Hunter Orc on Rhaegar, Gaflo on Chen. Always nice to have Chen here. Sven on Rexa, and Johan is playing Mal'Ganis. And it's a spider build. Okay. Bit unexpected, gonna be honest. Did not think that he would go full spider over here. And, well, down to the bottom of the map, that's where Chen apparently takes position. So they're already rotating away. We currently have the Time Walker's Pursuit in, overpower on level 1. Leo hasn't made a choice yet. I expected Austin's Renewal to be taken. Unless, of course, they want to go for a bit more control on this. But the traditional choice would at least be that. But yeah, spider build for Nazebo. So, how is Nano going to play this year? That mount combo, by the way. Oh my god. Down at the bottom of the map, they're already starting to poke this out. And Hazu, he is an arachnophobe, so he does not like those spiders at all. He's like, ugh, spiders. And Varian still sitting tight in the middle. Varian is an oversized minion until level 4 when he finally gets his taunt. Until then, he is useless. Not quite, but close enough. So we need to get taunt for him. There's Austin's Renewal also for Leoric. As expected. Now, Nano is already starting to stack. And again, this is a big map. This map usually takes quite a long time. Normally we have teams on level 20. And if Nano is able to now stack well and just survive, and they head into level 20 with Viral Infection, that's obviously the entire idea here. Get him into the late game. I can absolutely crush it. So we'll see if he can do that. But he is roaming the map now. So they have a 4-man. And basically, Nazebo is acting as the rotation hero between the mid and the bot lane. That gives him stacks insanely quickly. Not technically the role that Nazebo normally has, because again, usually you're having a side laner do that job. But in this case, the idea is, of course, get stacks fast. Try and also help him. We have now Big Voodoo, for example, taken. Good synergy with the baseline. And they are going to try and turn him into an absolute monster. And they have also a lot going for themselves up at the top. I mean, just look at how much damage is being done here. Zagara is trying to take down the aura as quickly as she can so that her abilities have a little bit more impact in the deep push. But they've taken a ton of damage on this one. And that wall is basically destroyed. The gate is down. One tower is gone. So that's a good start for the Raiders when it comes to structural damage. It's a bit of a question on how much can be done down here at the bottom of the map, as the Saboteurs are of course going to try and repay the favor. But yeah, at the end of the day, what the Saboteurs would like to do is get this all accelerated and just push this and make this game fast. Because then you can put more pressure onto Nazebo. It's going to be tougher for him to get the stacks together for level 20. Maybe you can even get an insane advantage before level 20 is there. The worst thing that can happen to you is that Nazebo hits level 20, you're level 20, and, well, there's no advantage in structures. So the least that you want to do is take some keeps down, for example, or at least obliterate these forts. In a perfect world, you end the game before he really kicks in. But we're not there yet by any means. Zagara can de-push a lot of this, still very early in the game. But Nazebo is, of course, the threat, that Damocles sword that is always, like, looming above you. That's always in the back of your mind where you know, okay, if he gets to 20 with good stacks, we might have a problem here. And then we have to try and take him out into these team fights. Malfurion would have to try and out-heal all of this. So, yeah, it can be really dangerous. And he's already sitting at 43 stacks. Again, going for the spider build for now with the adjustment on level 4. And, ooh, yeah, someone is getting melted away. Johan gets caught as he tries to jump out. Sandblast hits him and hits him hard, and that is first blood in the game. And this should also be the first seed for the Saboteurs. So, they are going to be eager to end this early. They don't want to prolong this. Fat Illidan kills Leoric, jumps in, and drops him quickly. Hazob's activating his trade at the top lane, and oof, down at the bottom of the map, another kill is coming in as Rexa gets crushed by Chromie. So, the Chromestar with the damage, Rexa out, and Zagara again threatening the lane. So, her wave clear, and particularly the pressure that she can get against structures, is pretty big. I'm honestly wondering if on a map like this at some point they might even consider going for Nidus. I haven't seen any solid Nidus plays in ages, and Maw is obviously an amazing ability that everybody at the end of the day is trying to go for. But if you're playing on a map that is this big, I wonder if Rutsu is considering picking up Nidus and trying to just keep the opponent on their toes. There's no global to really deal with him, so maybe that's even an option here. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I haven't seen Nidus in ages. And for good reason. It's not really... I mean, again, it can be nice. But generally, if you're looking team fights in particular, Maw is amazing. And this is a map... That's also one way to deal with her. This is a map where we have seen Zagaras multiple times get insane Maws and choke points, get like 3 heroes. Malfurion follows up with the root. There's Chromie with slowing sands. The chances of us actually seeing Nidus is basically none. But it would still be kind of fun. So... we have a second seed for the blue team now. Saboteurs have taken 2. We get, of course, the Wandering Keg. We have also the Carrion Swarm. Nazeebo hasn't made a choice yet. I would say Annihilating Spirit, and yep, that's what we're getting. Or at least Ravenous Spirit for now. And he's at 78 stacks. Can say whatever you want. Nano knows how to stack Nazeebo. He definitely does. There's more. Yeah, sad. Understandable. There's too much that syncs up with it properly. You have your Entomb. I mean, there's so many abilities that really work well with Maw here. It would have just been nice to see a bit of Nidus. But okay. They want to win the game, I suppose. How dare they? How dare you? So, 2 kills to 2. Well, we got another seed coming up, and this time it's positioned really well in favor of the Raiders, so I guess the blue team is going to likely let this one go. Not sure if they're going to be willing to fight for it. Would, of course, be insane for them if they would be able to lock in Garden Terrors this early in the game. They're only at level 7. And they're already looking for Zagara again. That's the problem of her. She's just squishy. Zagara is just squishy. You get close to her and she dies. So, yeah. Leo at the top. So they're already letting that go. They still have their Siege Giants here. And he's going to take most of this out. Question is, how quickly will that seed be taken? And already they're going for Zagara again. And Roots is like, no. Already died once, guys. Thank you very much. Don't need another lesson there. And as long as you are all down at the bottom of the map, at least Hazobs is going to get damage fast. So yeah, you can stay there as long as you want. And Sven was trying to rotate over to deal with it. But instead he gets now taunted and oof, nearly killed. That allowed a lot of time for Hazo to destroy the topside wall, and those Siege Giants are still doing damage. But the fight continues, and Barrier's gonna have Taunt ready in another 2 seconds. So he can technically try and make a play. Already the ult of Malfurion being used. There's the Entomb. Nice. Good Entomb, for sure. Can they follow up on that? They might be. Chromie down, killed by Chen. Fat Illidan is in top shape today. He's doing work and is able to get out. Well done. This, on the other hand, cost them a lot of hit points on that top side fort. And by the way, that seed has still not been taken. That seed is still up. Now, they are obviously also very happy to just slow the game down for reasons mentioned earlier. You want to get Nazeebo into the late game, so they're not going for this too quickly. So they're leaving it up intentionally, just playing this one out. Yeah, 112 stacks now for Nazeebo on the baseline. Rexa isn't here. They're fighting that fight with Chromie now slowly coming back in. Trying to go for Chen. Already dropping Gavlo low here. Gavlo, more is out. There's the Entomb as an immediate follow-up. They're still trying to get the kill. Chen is already jumping out, but they can go for Johan. And he gets crushed. So, he is killed. Johan is gone. And that is a pretty big kill for them, because now in a 5 versus 4, they might be able to pick up that seed. And that's obviously the problem when you're playing the long game and you're trying to delay this shit. If you do that, you might face off against Garden Terrors a lot faster than you're going to be comfortable with, and that's exactly what's going on here. So the question is, how much damage can they now do? And Zagara is immediately there, and the problem at the bot lane is going to get worse now, because not only a Garden Terror that they are going to deal with here, they are also having a camp that pushes through the lane and is going for it right away. So yeah, that fort is gone. They were even setting up a trap here, but nobody fell for it. Defense at the top lane should be alright. I think the fort will likely still fall. In the middle they're doing some extra damage as well. Early Keck already being used by Gavlo. Gets entombed! They just entombed the Keck! That's one way to deal with it. There's the taunt, and the Ancestral had to be used to save Gavlo. Nice. But this is still a problem. I mean, the Garden Terror at the bottom of the map is now breaking through the gate. And in the middle, they're trying for another fort. The fort at the top lane has already been destroyed. This is exactly the one thing that the Raiders were worried about. Momentum. Momentum for the Saboteurs. Once that they're starting taking structures down and really pushing these lanes, it's gonna be problematic. And just look at this, the entire bot lane wall is now destroyed, so the keep is getting attacked in a moment. Of course, Nazeebo can now stack more and more and more, and he should be ready by level 20. He's at 125, as is already. Misha gets mauled. Bad Benny's in trouble, likely gonna fall here. Yep, he gets killed. And they go for Rutsu, who will also die. Leo not here, that was a problem. So there's the double kill. 2 of them get killed. Quest completed at least. Can they maybe get Nalganis? I don't think so. I really think they need to get away from this quickly. And indeed they do. So, 2 forts destroyed. Lead in experience for the Raiders. That's at least good news. And Nazeebo, I mean, again, he's at 140 stacks. He's definitely going to be ready for Violent Infection at 20, 100%. So the Saboteurs, they already have to accept that they will likely have to deal with Nazeebo in his final form. With a Spider Colony on level 16. So yep, going all in on this one. See, I mean, you can look at Nano. He's just... Nano, his hero damage is pretty trash. He's the only range damage dealer. They only have a couple of melees and he's at 15,000. But look at his siege damage. That's a different story. Because he's roaming from lane to lane, getting as many stacks as he possibly can to prepare for the late game. And they have him on level 16 now. They have so far not taken out a single fort. But the question is simply, what is going to happen in the late game? And the Saboteurs have to deal with Nazeebo and all the damage they can push out. That's the strategy. That was the strategy from the beginning. And this is what they're going to try and do here. Gavlo again, buying a little bit of time for the team. So, yep, there we go. Once again, there's another hit coming. Yeah, they're trying. There's also a camp at the top that there has to be dealt with eventually. But there's one seed. This is going to be the first seed for the 2 teams. Leo's, of course, trying to catch him up in experience down at the bottom of the map. So he's already in for that. 3 to 5, all the way up at the top. Yep, they go for the seed again. The Keck is ready and is buying them some time. They cannot isolate anybody. But there's also still the top lane pressure as highlighted earlier. So now the fort is taking damage, which makes matters worse. And the red team claimed it. Red team has it. Double connect on the Maw. Double connect on Maw. Can they get a kill? Ice block. Nazeebo low. Can they kill him? Can they kill Nano? And it doesn't seem like it. Nano is still alive. He gets the Ancestral. And they get Zagara instead. Ravenous Spirit. They get the kill. This is looking so good for the Raiders. Kill after kill after kill. They take Leo down. They take Malfurion down. This is glorious for them. And even Varian dies. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing for the Raiders. It does not get much better than that for them. They are getting so much value here. Dino is the only survivor, and even he gets nearly crushed by Chen. So now Rexa at the top can easily take the fort down. They have Nazeebo in prime position for the late game. and they are more than a level ahead of their opponent. This is awesome for them. This is really awesome. 2 forts are now going to be destroyed. You're looking over to the stacks, and we are having 176 already. So he's already past the threshold. This is a disaster for the Saboteurs. They need a bit of a miracle. They need some spot-on fights if they want to change the outcome of this. Now, what they can, of course, do is after level 20, when they have Hazu's and Tomb upgraded, if they get a good catch with it, they might be able to get a kill. But they gotta get these kills fast. And right now, they are going to be in real danger here. Yeah, that on the other hand would help. And they... Oh my god! Johan, how? How is Johan alive? How is he alive? He should be dead 3 times over. Benny gets attacked. He's going to make it out, I suppose. But boy, oh boy, what a battle between these two. So right now we have 9 kills to 3. We have 19.5 nearly on the board, and Nazeebo just keeps stacking. He's turning into an absolute monster tank with an endless mana pool here. They're just getting those stacks, and they are about to hit level 20 with him. And that's when the real party starts. This is when the real game starts for them, and they are in prime position. I mean, structures are even. Zagara now has to defend the bot lane. They're going in for Hazu. He's able to get out. But there it is. Level 20, ladies and gentlemen. And we get the Vile Infection. There it is. Alright, Vile Infection is in. 200 stacks by now for him. And that leaves us with 27,000 damage for Nazeebo before he had the quest. Now it's going to be a very different story. So now with Garden-Terrors in particular, now they can force these fights. Now they can do their thing. It's 20 on the board, 36,000 damage for Chen, but I can already promise you this picture is going to change very quickly. And the Saboteurs, they don't even have level 20 yet. So yes, this top lane push in particular is going to be pretty rough. Mid lane, top lane, both get pressured. Nazeebo, he's melting this away now. Melting this away, and yep, that is pretty sweet. One of those keeps is definitely gonna fall. Varian is, by the way, attacking at the bottom of the map. The whole idea there is to get level 20 for the defense. So yeah, he's not trying to really pressure this. Zagara would be better there, but she's trying to defend. What Varian is trying to do is get them to 20. And maybe they can even get a hit here. Zagara is dead already. And yep, the damage is coming. I'm actually surprised that no keep has fallen yet. That shocks me more than anything. They're zoning them well. And Chrome is, of course, doing a lot of damage. But look at Nazeebo. He's already at 35,000 damage right now. Just getting a couple of spiders connected, doing the job. But this bottom keep is starting to lose hit points very quickly as well. So I gotta give it to the Saboteurs. They are catching up in experience, and they're threatening the bottom keep, while they themselves have not lost too much. They will likely lose the one here, but that's still alright. That's still fine. So, yeah. With that, we have Rexa defending the bot lane. Now they have level 20. There's the end of Mal'Ganis. If the Saboteurs turn this with level 20 Nazeebo against them, that would be something. That would actually be insane. Now, one keep is down, but this game is not over yet. 4 kills to 10. 220 stacks now for Nazeebo. Let's have a quick look at his damage output. He's now at 43,000, so he has taken over the top damage numbers in this on his team. Not in this game yet, but on his team. So you can really tell how his damage absolutely spiked to an insane degree after they had level 20 in his Vile Infection upgrade. That doesn't change the fact that there's still an opportunity for the Saboteurs. I'm just not sure if they can do anything about Chen. Chen is one of their biggest threats right now. It's one of the biggest problems, particularly Zagara hates Chen. She doesn't like him at all. She's just looking at his, and she's looking at Gavlo, and she's not happy whatsoever. This fort is gonna fall. Oh, there's the Entomb. There's the Entomb! But they cannot get the kill. Ice Block is there. Yeah, Ancestral from Rhaegar. Nice move with the Maw, but they need to follow up on that. Yeah, they try for damage. They get more damage in, but they just can't kill him. They haven't killed Nano. So that's the big problem. With Nano surviving, he is still there as a damage machine. And that's something that they're doing right now. So the attacks are coming down here as they're starting to chase them. The blue team is on the run. The top lane, by the way, is becoming more of an issue because it's now starting to approach the core. And there's a lot that they got to deal with. So yes, the Saboteurs, they're just running. They know that they can't win this fight right here, right now. So they have to play this out a little bit later. But they have to, at the same time, deal with the top lane. That's exactly what Chromie is currently doing. So Dino's currently on the job. Another seed is taken, and just to give you more of an idea of the damage output, Nazeebo is now at 190,000 siege damage. This bot lane, by the way, I mean... Oh, Melganis gets killed. Nice. Bot lane... Ah, Leo. Okay, Leo, losing Leo is fine. He's gonna be back soon, TM. That bottom keep is gonna fall. Bot lane keep on the red team side is gonna fall, guys. There's 2 catapults on it and like 2 minion waves. This game, how are they still in there? Nazeebo has now another 10,000 damage that he just picked up like it's nothing. So this is still being played out. And they need to send someone back to deal with these catapults or they're going to be on the core. And we're already 20 minutes in. Huh. Do they actually still have a chance here? Is there still an opportunity to win that game? Even with Nazeebo now going crazy. Zagara, by the way, look at her hero damage. She's at 92,000. She died 4 times. 4 times, and she still has 92,000 hero damage. That is impressive. 6 kills to 11. Nazeebo now at 232 stacks. And, well, here comes the hit. Yep, they're getting another camp. This will relieve some of the pressure at the top lane. That's definitely going to help. Getting that Siege Giant camp at the top lane is so valuable for them now because it slows down the pressure. It alleviates a lot of that. They need kills. They need good taunts, they need good follow-ups, they need kills with this. Everybody is playing this insanely slow now because everybody wants to win this particular map. The Saboteurs want to take this whole winner bracket final with the 2-0 and move on to the grand final. And the Raiders, they want to force game number 3 and have another chance here. Make it a bit more chaotic. Go to the next map. Remove more heroes from the pool. And just go for it. So another seed is up. Each team has 1 right now. And would another objective win the game necessarily? Likely. Very likely. There's maybe a chance a few heroes die to make the... to pull something off. Zagara channeling already. They go for Chen, trying to control the choke point here. Melganis is moving in, alright. Good Entomb in the back. Zoning out Nazeebo as well for just a second. But Melganis is, of course, a huge threat again. Goes straight for Zagara. Benny gets attacked super low. The Spiders wrecking him. Nice more, fantastic more. And also, here comes the Astral Communion, but he just can't follow up on it. The follow-up is the problem for them right now. They're trying to get them low, but look at Rutsu. Rutsu is getting crushed here. They get the counter kill against Melganis, though. Melganis is dead, so at least they got a kill. Nazeebo also picked up another ungodly amount of damage in that last fight. He's now at 73,000. The channel is happening. Catapults on the core, on the other hand. Catapults are in here. They need to deal with the catapults. They're already sending some of them back. There's also a push in the middle of the map that is happening at the same time. Hazu is trying to entomb them again. And guys, that core is about to lose hit points. But not enough because this minion wave is still there. Oh my god. If those catapults made it straight to the core and all 3 of them would have targeted it, this would have been such a different story. They would have lost a lot of HP there. And now with 4 catapults over here, I think this is happening to the blue team. Yep, they're the first ones to lose some points. 96%. We're 23 minutes into the game now. Keep in the middle has nearly been destroyed. Both teams were under pressure from catapults and they are scaling, scaling, scaling. 108,000 damage now for Zagara, and Nazeebo, he is catching up. He's at 80,000 now. 80,000 damage for Nazeebo. But yeah. By now, we got at the top, Leo. 12 kills to 7. Zagara's damage is also kind of insane. But I mean, every team fight that we're getting, it's just nuts to see Melganis and Chen just go full face, zone them out, put pressure on Zagara. Rutsu is just there. No matter what Malfurion does, it's tricky. They go into the middle, and they take the keep down. Big win for the Raiders. That was a big one. That was a huge win for them now. More pressure on more lanes against the blue team, limiting the options, putting a time on them. 3 catapults down here. Yeah, they're pinging it already. They know that they gotta fall back and deal with it. It's too dangerous right now. Winions are too strong, but they have 2 camps that they can take. Siege Giants are about to be claimed down at the bottom left. They've already taken this one, so that's kind of important. Nazeebo still doing his thing. Catapults are not going to be an issue, so they will push this back, and it shouldn't really be a problem for them, especially since the next seed is at the bottom of the map. This could decide the game. I think this fight will. This fight should be it. This fight should be the one that decides the map. And Rexa is at the top trying to take this out. He wants to deal with the Siege Giants. That will also slowly apply more pressure. But yeah, the seed is spawning in 6 seconds. I'm not quite sure how they are going to try and play this. Are they actually attempting to go for the core? Blue team is very weary of this. Yeah, they're starting to move in. Alright. Moment of truth! There we go. They go for the taunt. They have everything set up, and it's not enough. Immediately the Ravenous Spirit, and Mal'Ganis is ripping them apart. Quick kill against Varian. This is looking fantastic for the Raiders. This is looking nearly unlosable here. 5 versus 4, good more, but there won't be a follow-up for it. So, yep, they go for the seed. They're just going to claim the seed, go in with the Garden Terrors, and try and end the game. Varian being murdered this quickly definitely broke their necks. This is, yeah, this has to be over. This one, the Garden Terror, is going to defend the core. That's all that it's going to do here. Make sure that the catapults are not gonna get any value for them, and then in the meantime they can break through the middle. Nazeebo's damage is already gonna be plenty. He's at 250 stacks by now as well, and of course they got the Garden Terror there too. 20 seconds for Varian. The only thing that can lose them the game is they get completely wiped here. That's the only chance that the blue team has, and it's only a theoretical one in my opinion. But let's see what they can do. They're gonna try. Varian is back in 5, but just look how quickly the core falls. It's just no way. Nazeebo's damage is spiking up. He is totally crushing this thing. His siege damage is just absurd. And we're going once again to the final map between these 2 teams. Saboteurs against Raiders. The score is tied, and we go to game number 3. Once again, we're going to the final map between the Saboteurs and the Raiders. We've been here already a few times. Seems like every single qualifier, at some point they clash and it's always a highlight. So now we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. We have 20 heroes that are unavailable because they have been played already. And another 15 that you can see down here that are banned for the entire 4th qualifier. So yeah, guys, we have still a couple of damage dealers available that would be nice here. Lunara is up. You could play Soljan, for example. I mean, again, there is still options available, but I would assume that some of them are going to be addressed during the ban phase, and I am still wildly curious if one of the teams maybe throws out a bit of a curveball. And again, they hate fun. Saboteurs, they ban out Samuro, they ban out Shogal. I wouldn't put it past them to pick Artanis, though. Generally speaking, Dino likes playing Artanis. When he can, he does it. In Battlefield of Eternity, you have amateur opponent. He's going to be looking for those swaps. So I would not be surprised to see that right now. But since they're now in total 35 heroes unavailable, that obviously has an impact on all of this. And Lunara gets banned. She would have been one of the major options as a damage source for Battlefield of Eternity. Now the few that are still remaining that are really good should be picked early or then banned out again. But yeah, here comes the first pick for our final map in this winner bracket final. Now keep in mind, the loser drops down into the lower bracket and the winner advances to the grand final and can spend a lot of time checking out all of the matches that are played in the losers bracket, and just like you know, see what the opponents are playing, what kind of drafts are currently happening from qualifier to qualifier. As things change, of course, the meta gets slightly adjusted simply because we have more pre-bans, so that has an impact. Cassia was still up, so Dino takes her very quickly here. And, well, There's Urel as a side lane and Greymane. I would have expected some of the bans, some of these heroes to be banned out instead of Samuro and Cho'Gall. But I mean, who knows? Maybe the Saboteurs made the right choice here. So in regards to immortal damage, Greymane's still fantastic. Urel, great pick. Cassia, of course, very strong here too. And now just a question of what else we are getting. Tanks are gonna maybe be a bit of a question mark, and we have Zarya for Rutsu. I like that. Rutsu Zarya is very powerful. Now, they won't be able to combo that off with Garrosh, but still, Zarya works with other heroes too, particularly when you ban out 35 already before you're even heading into the draft. So, yeah. Deckard Cain as the heals. And what do you ban against that? I mean, they're looking at Zarya and they're thinking, what could they possibly combo with that we're gonna get rid of? And they decide in favor of Tyrael. Okay, so Tyrael gets banned. No Sanctification, no more shields. Also very annoying, of course, when he starts jumping in with some aggressive plays, when we get Holy Ground later, which is another potential pick for him, and which we've seen with lots of value. But it also means another main tank is removed now. Now Imperius is still up. There's a couple of other choices. Still plenty around. Stitches could still be picked too. And they ban Arthurs. I really don't know what's going on with the Saboteurs, but they like all of the picks that I would want to see. Everything they're just banning out. No Cho'Gall, no Samuro, no Arthurs. I mean, why you no fun? That's, again, Stitches is still up. You still got options. Could play ETC if you wanted to. Which on Battlefield of Eternity is also a really good pick. Can't combo him with Uther anymore, but hey. And they decide in favor of Imperius as a main tank and Tyrande. And this is something that we're going to see a lot. I talked about this in qualifier number 3 already, and I also highlighted a bit in the 4th qualifier in the previous games. Imperius will be played more and more and more as a main tank. As much as we're going into game 3 or later, Imperius will appear more as a main tank. Because he is just great in that position. You can combo his stun with follow-ups, in this case from Tyrande. Also great against the Immortal, of course. And here comes ETC and Sonya. Alright. ETC with a bubble from Zarya, and we get Sonya. That's a lot of sustain that they have. One real range damage, that's Cassie. I mean, I guess Zarya is also range damage, but yes. And that leaves us with our final pick, Nano. So, what are we going to get from him? Final map, guys. Final map in the winner bracket final. Battlefield of Eternity. And the last pick for the red team is Artanis. Nano is the one playing Artanis, or at least locking him in. It wasn't Dino this time. And with that, let's go. BOE, map number 3. Game number 3, the final map in the series. Rutsu playing Zarya for the blue team. Dino and Cassia. Hazorps on Sonya. We got Yasuo on Deckard Cain. And Bad Benny playing ETC. To the right side, the Raiders. After they just won the second map, after they dropped the Saboteurs on Garden of Terror, we're now looking at Sven on Urel, Nano on Artanis, Gavlo with Greymane, Hunter Org on Tyrande, and Johan is playing Imperius. Starting us off with a Consume Flame, and of course Artanis going straight into the amateur opponent, trying to raise the Immortal a bit faster. And talking about the speed with which these teams are going to take down the Immortal, there is absolutely no comparison here. The Raiders should be so much faster. They have Greymane, they have Artanis with amateur opponent, and they got also the Hunter's Mark from Tyrande. They have a lot. On the other side, you have some nice tools as well. Sonya can slap away, but this should be an immediate victory if there is ever a situation where it's all about just racing the objective down, which we've seen plenty of times in the past, of course. So let's watch out for that. Blue team very much more likely to try and go for team fights and some aggression. And it's already paying off. Coming in and taking down Imperius. Also, Cassia stacking. So Cassia is going into stacks. We now have Thunderstroke on level 1. And he's already working this in. And at least in the early game, it's working quite nicely. Again, you got Zarya, you can obviously siege up. You got that extra shield available, and that's always neat. Oh, yeah, Benny missed that one pretty massively. And they nearly get a kill on him. But good heals from Yasu. Deckard Kane is going full Oprah. You get a potion! You get a potion! Everybody gets a potion! But then they turn around and kill Zarya, so it's a kill for a kill. Took a little bit longer to get to that point, but now that Zarya is out, they can also go for the camp down at the bottom of the map. So, all the way up at the top, we now got Nano still fighting this one out against Sonya and Cassia. I mean, of course, it should be a camp for a camp trade that we essentially get here. It's another 30 seconds, and yeah, a little bit of a slide over here. No, not yet. If they can escort that camp in a little bit further and maybe get one of the towers already destroyed, that would be neat. But it doesn't seem like we're gonna get there anytime soon. Top side, a little bit of damage done against Hazu. They really want him, but they cannot take him down. They got him low and force him to Hearth back, but that's obviously a numbers advantage that results in the Saboteurs having more heroes down at the bottom of the map, and they are getting way more out of that trade. So they are moving in, taking a tower and taking the side wall. Even the gate could fall here. Raiders at least claim a camp at the top that gives them a bit of experience, and they might be able to use it to do some counter damage. But down here, this is already a great opening. Level 4 also gives us the press forward. So trying to work. I mean, honestly, a little bit of a weird one in my opinion. But yeah, either way, first objective is now up. And this is where the party starts and where I really want to see how quickly they can focus onto the objective, especially when we're talking about the red team here. They need to get Greymane in, they need to get the Hunter's Mark in, and then they should be able to win that halftime show super quickly. Tyrande actually helping out over here instead of just using a trade. They're trying to get some kills in, some stacks, at least some stuns. But the halftime show is, even without the Hunter's Mark, not even a contest. The Raiders just have too much there. So, can they do it here? Obviously, the blue team has to defend. It's the only thing they gotta do. They keep Hazu over here, trying to use him to take this down. Can't quite pull it off yet. And Imperius is also getting attacked, but look how quickly they're burning this one out. As long as you buy some time with Imperius, you win that easily. The race is amazing for the Raiders, and they win it with a 50% shield. That was never really a question of who would take this. They were trying to activate the camp, can't really make it happen, but they should at least break through the wall, maybe even get the fort here, depending on how good defense is or how much they can push it back. But yes, pure immortal damage, Raiders take it. Extremely easily. Like super easily. So now we got a 7-2-6. Yeah, there it is. The Chrono Surge is in. Divine Steed, Hunter's Fury, and the Flash of Anger. They got the talent advantage, and it's a tiny window. It's really a small window, but it's more than enough right now because half of the fight is playing out with the talent advantage for them. ETC is coming in, starts the slide. Yep, on level 7 we also get the pinpoint accuracy. Greymane made it out, and that top fort is still losing hit points. Top fort is still losing hit points, and it's losing a lot of them. Yep, that's less than 50% of its HP. Good job by the Raiders. Guys, if they take it now, if they get the 2 wins in a row, that would be big. That would really be big. Another fight about to be forced. Artanis is still down at the bottom of the map. Yrel making a play for Bennu. Stun stack, and Rutsu gets wrecked. Rutsu is down, he's gone, and that is even more of a lead for the Raiders. Yes, a chance to go for the topside fort. Neon is already doing some damage, and now they're pushing in. They want this thing, and they're gonna get it. They should be able to get it. The defense is coming, the stuns are being stacked again. Oh, nice! Imperius gets killed. Okay, they're not getting it. That was way more successful than I thought it would be from the 3 defenders. They even get a kill with it. So now it's 2 kills to 2. Yeah, I should not underestimate the Saboteurs. That one's on me. Look how quickly Cassia is stacking. Dino is at 38 stacks. Normally at the 8-minute mark, you're totally happy to have 40. And he's already getting that 2 minutes early. So yes, good for him. Gets it done 2 minutes early. We're now having the next Immortal spawning, and it's of course the old question. Is it just going to be a race, yes or no? Because if it is, then the red team has the advantage. The blue team has to approach this a little bit differently. They want to be the ones to force the fight, to zone this out. But can they? And each team is looking at level 10 abilities and they're like, yummy, let's go. Heroics. Let's lock him in early. But the leading experience goes to the Raiders. So they have pretty much all these advantages. Small ones, but that's all that they need here. Hunter's Mark is in, and already you can tell that this is not even close. Zip! And they win the halftime show. Actually, they didn't. It still has a few hit points too many, so somebody has to come in with an additional attack. But yeah, everybody's at level 10 now. So they have to send someone in. It's actually ridiculous. They might now win the halftime show. It might get a lot closer than it was supposed to. One hit was all that's needed. Sven jumps in, gets one hit out, and that is all that was needed there. But, well, they still needed it. So, it's a lot closer than expected. Okay, they're getting a couple of stuns out. Urel pestering Dino as best as she can. Yeah, there's a slide from ETC. Benny is again low. Benny always... Oh my god, a 5-man sleeper setup! Stay a while and get wrecked! Jesus! What a monster ult by Yasuo. Dude, calm down, please. Have you seen this shit? Look at this! 5-man ult and then they get the kill right after it. 3 heroes are dying. 3! And they just crush him. Absolutely crush him. That must be demoralizing. The entire team got caught by this. The entire team. 5 kills to 2 and the chance to go through the top. Insane. Absolutely insane. And now, of course, the chance to take the fort down. Or at least the wall. I mean, they're going through the side wall to give them vision. Now they're taking the fort out. The shield isn't even getting poked. They should be able to take that fort. They should be able to take it, particularly if they're able to get a kill too. Johan is already low. Hunter Orc needs to be careful as well. He dropped low too. But yeah, this is just crazy. Full on pain train moment for the Raiders. Topside fort is now getting attacked. Imperius is gone. Momentum, baby. There it is. The fort destroyed, and they are pushing them further past the gate towards the keep. Even this wall is going to suffer. Side wall is open. First tower is taken out. They're going to go for the gate. They might just be able to take that tower down. Maybe not completely, but this was still amazing. And honestly, all of this thanks to this little play. Have a look at that replay again. So damn good. Deckard Cain says like, wow, stay a while. And then it's Mr. Pain murdering everybody. Triple kill. 6 kills to 2. Level 13, half level lead. Camp at the top lane is also getting escorted in. And with a level 13 talent advantage, they might even be able to make a move for the bottom of the map. And get another fort destroyed. Probably not. I mean, now that Urel is at the top, they might. Gotta be careful if there is an ult from Johan. And he's trying, he gets it, ETC gets caught. And they keep Benny alive. Maybe, maybe not. He gets out. Benny is still alive. Alright. So, 13 to 13. Both teams now with the same talents. We have Ranger's Mark in, we got Heat of Battle, and they're still poking away at the bottom fort. As Urel is at the top, it's a 5 versus 4 down here. As long as they have some minions to soak a few of the shots, they can try and make a play, and that's exactly what they're attempting to do. Nice swap. Benny gets killed by the fort, but the fort fought. I say this is a decent trade. As long as they get out with the rest, and I'm not so sure that they can, but if they get out, then it would be a decent trade. Deckard Cain trying it again. This time it's a bit less successful, but still hits 2. Hazu gets caught and killed. And that might be a problem, because the Immortal is up, and we talked a lot about how much pressure against the objective the red team has. And that is very much true now. So they can get the halftime show and maybe even the entire thing while Sonya is still dead. So that could be a massive immortal that now gets locked in by the Raiders. There's a chance that they are getting an absolute insane shield on this. Ah! And Gavlo with a tactical pause over there. Look at that. A 3-2-3 moment for the Raiders. Yeah, communication issues. Sure. That's definitely not what's going on there. That's a tactical discussion of how they're going to play this now. It's like, yeah, 6 seconds. 6 seconds is all that we have, and then Sonya is back on the map. So how do we play this right now? Go in, take it down, and then we just, like, win it. Just kill them all, and then GG the game. Damage output, we got 32,000 for Imperius. This is one of the reasons why he is just such a nice asset to have on your team, because he's not only a solid main tank, but he also has a lot of damage. He died 3 times, but again, getting good damage out here, 32,000, top damage on the team, even more than Greymane. Now, to be fair, Greymane has, of course, also tried during those objective phases to just take the Immortal down. So he's losing out on some damage in those situations. We have Cassia with 45,000 damage by now. Hasn't died yet. She and Deckard Cain, the only ones on the blue team that haven't fallen yet. And when you look at the stacks for Dino, he is currently at 66. So, yeah, good numbers. Not totally insane, but yeah, look how quickly they take this one out. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. 22,000 on the shield. That bottom fort is gone. Yeah, no chance to save that bottom fort. This is a big opportunity for them to make the play here. So, yeah, let's see if they can actually do that. Get the fort and then try, of course, to snowball this a bit further. But here's their chance. He has their chance to make up for the damage that they suffered at the top lane. And they, of course, have already taken out one fort. This one doesn't stand... I mean, again, like, zip dead. Particularly when Greymane also starts moving in, but they don't even have to use him here. So there's the slide. Mosh Pit is, of course, still up. They have to be very careful with Deckard Cain. Gets another good hit in. Good follow-up stun as well. Another swap. Trash Tannis is doing work. And Benny is a bit low. But when you don't have any vision on where your opponent is positioned back here, you need to be careful after you got 5-man by Deckard Cain earlier. So yeah, that's why they're falling back now, because they are terrified of a good Mosh Pit or a Deckard Cain ult, or a combo of the two. So yeah, Gate gets destroyed, Wall gets destroyed. Gate is actually still up, but they were able to take the forts out. So each team is now relying solely on their keeps. As far as third maps go, this is about as good as it gets. Very close third map. Denying vision, taking these side walls out. Each team is taking a camp. Marutsu is already hearthing back, and they have Greymane on that together with Atanis before anything else. So they can still poke. If they had full vision on the map, they would have gone in and destroyed this entire wall. But they weren't sure if somebody is waiting behind that gate. And if, again, there's another big ult from Deckard Cain and a good follow-up, they might lose everything that you just worked for so hard. So they gotta play this safer. We have full vision on this, they don't. They have to assume that somebody is waiting there. Now, 6 kills to 4, still a kill advantage for the Saboteurs. And we got now imposing presence for ETC, that's of course big. Yeah, sitting at the top here, trying to threaten, trying to force a fight there too. They know of course that Urel is at the bottom of the map. So they're playing around that a bit. But nobody is moving away. So there's a lot of vision granted here. Johan knows what's going on. They know where everybody is. Urel is able to get a bit more experience for them. And now the Immortals are spawning again in 30. And this is going to be huge, because now we're talking 14, 15, 16 minute Immortal, depending on when it's taken. And that is going to hurt. This one is going to... This is a potential keep. This objective is potentially taking your keep. And now the red team can again leverage their heroes. They can leverage their tools against the Immortal and try and burn that out quickly. And you can see that the Saboteurs are realizing that they have to do something about it. So they're already defending. They're sending Hazu again towards the left with Sonya, and instead they're trying to defend their own Immortal, because they know fully well that if Greymane and Artanis make it onto the Immortal, it's going to be a real problem for them. Particularly with the Hunter's Mark from Toranda. And they are doing damage even now. Hazu's now coming in. Ah, and Atanis gets killed. Atanis gets killed. Cassia, yeah, she gets murdered by Yrel. Great move by Yrel. That was huge. Sven getting a kill there was absolutely big, but Sven, yeah, and he gets away. He gets away, and they are barely getting ETC out of that fight. So it's a 4 versus 4 now. But while all this plays out, there's a camp here. So this wall is likely going to get destroyed. And halftime show, there could still be a victory for the red team, because now they're back on the Immortal. They're racing it down, and they lose it by 5,000. But the wall is gone. The wall at the top is now getting destroyed. And the fight is actually going on, so they can't even retreat in order to deal with this camp. The keep itself might take damage. But if they get kills here, of course, then it's not going to matter too much. And Gavro is already insanely low, and he's in real trouble here. So, yeah, makes it out. Barely. Atanis dropping another ult on them. They had to send Cassia back to defend. That top keep, as already mentioned earlier, is taking damage. But now they can maybe go for ETC. Nah, they missed the swap. Atanis misses the swap, but Yasuo is now all of a sudden the one that they could possibly try and catch here. They go for ETC again. Benny's alive. Shields everywhere. Zarya doing her thing. But it's insane. Raiders just can't get a kill. They can't get a kill here. And they gotta send people back. The keep has taken damage. I mean, yes, but the problem is, if you're losing this Immortal, but with this big of a shield still remaining, then your own keep is likely gonna get crushed within seconds. So they gotta do something here. There's a lot of ults back in play. Atanis has his ult up, Tyrande. I mean, even Imperia is here. And Yrel is also in only 10 seconds back with another shield that she can pop. But boy, oh boy, they need a win, they need a kill, something, or the Saboteurs are just going to walk over them with this Immortal. That should be the first keep for sure. And yes, even with Atanis dropping another suppression pulse, it seems like the blue team is going to get this one for sure. They're chasing Hazu, they're trying to kill against Sonya, she's able to get out. Deckard Cain at the top gets attacked, Spear is missing. But they zone them out as much as they can, but we need kills. Which team is going to be the first one to lock some in? Dino's dying. Dino down. That's big. That's the range damage gone. Most of the range damage gone. Zarya, of course, is still sitting at 57,000 herself, which isn't shabby. But with ECC now also falling, and down here Hazu barely making it out of the fight, it still means that they are winning the Immortal after all. Are you kidding me? They really got it? Sonya died as well. Johan just dropped Hazu, and that is 20. Guys, they just locked in level 20, and now they have a chance to go for the keep. And there's 3 heroes that are still dead. So the Immortals coming onto the map. We have level 20 for the Raiders. Like, what the hell is happening here? Just all of a sudden, the Raiders are flipping the fight and winning an Immortal that they had basically lost already. Look at this shield. This thing is non-existent. Yrel can now come in too. She's still at the top. They get this keep 100%. This keep is gone, 100%. I am just surprised that they're not trying to... I guess they can't go for core unless they get a kill here. But that's just nuts. Core damage is definitely in the cards. Immortal moving in. They're trying to poke that down. But if there's a kill, something they can do here, this would be the absolute dream. Just imagine winning the game here. That would be insanity. Already a bit of a flip against Dino. And look how quickly that shield is gone on the core. I mean, ETC is dead. They might be able to pull it off here. ETC is gone. The level 20 advantage is too much, and the core is down to 64% already. Tyrande is dead at least. If Greymane makes it onto the core, this is the end. This is the end. They turned it. They flipped the game. What the hell? The Raiders with a victory against the Saboteurs, and they move on to the grand final. Insane.